Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Problem solved. Okay. Hi. Welcome to Left Trek, your leftist Star Trek podcast, where we ask you to like, comment, and subscribe. One of the only podcasts that does such a thing.
Yeah, that's
Asking you
our
to like,
that's our
comment, and
tagline.
subscribe.
That's our tagline.
We invented that.
Yeah.
That's ours. All
We're like
those
we're like
gifts-
Mr. Beast, but for like, comment, and subscribe.
we're you know, a lot of people are saying that we're the Mr. Beast of leftist Star Trek podcast.
Fuck.
Who are they so I can punch them in the stomach?
Proximity alert. Vessel approaching. The vessel is hailing.
Space.
Warning. Warp core collapse in 10 seconds.
Welcome to Left Trek, folks. I'm Eric. I don't remember what happened on this episode. What happened on this episode? I can't think
I
of
don't
anything.
remember. Casino.
Oh,
Living
yeah.
in Novel time.
There we
We're
go.
living in a novel. It's badly written.
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm just an NPC in the figment of some astronaut's imagination, made by aliens out of exotic matter. I'm just repeating a shitty book in a casino over and over again, and I'm not aware of this. I'm having a great time. I'm just chilling in the background. I'm just playing slots and getting a jackpot every once in a while. And I'm joined by Brian.
Hi, I'm Brian. I'm a spinning door in a void, just spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning.
You know what the best thing about that little void seed is that it'll be really easy to paint out, so that I can insert clips of it into the show.
Absolutely. God, I love that door. It feels so good looking at it. It's like that scene's so sexy, you know. It's just a spinning door in a void.
Hi, I'm Zotz. I'm an android poorly playing craps. And squeezing the dice really hard to make them roll really boring throws. So
Yeah, that's something I knew about you, and then forgot that you worked in a. I think you worked in a casino.
no,
right?
no, I didn't work in a casino.
Apparently, I'm now mixing you up with.
I have friends. My roommate works in a casino and is in fact a craps dealer, or was a craps dealer, and is now a pit boss. And
Oh wow.
and but like we would go to casino, like other casinos, because you can't gamble at the same casino that you work at. And they taught me how to play craps, and so and how to play it properly. So like I would spend sometimes like hours like just shooting dice, because like I could go in there, I could make $200 like go up and down like fairly, like, and just, you know, have fun, you know. And and so like watching Data like do this and like explain the game good, and then like get like, okay, we're not there yet, but like I just want to say like I feel like this is like I understand that like subtle autistic like things that I have, and it's like one of those things where it's just like I know this, so like I have to talk about it, like I have to fucking say it, and then I have to like and then I like constantly mask it, and I'm just like, no, shut up, nobody cares, you don't have to say this, and then it's like, but if I don't say it, I'm literally going to explode, like I'm going to just like my head is just going to like scanners all over the fucking place.
Well, that's a beautiful thing about being on a podcast is that you can just fucking say it.
So,
Yeah,
so this is
also,
what I'm saying.
I have that exact thing, except, you know, without the filter part, right?
So okay, so like Data's explaining how to play craps, right? 7, 11, you know.
Wait,
you set the point.
No, sorry, this is just a preview. We can't get to the segment yet. But I just want the audience to know we're gonna get a full craps rundown at the etiquette, the gameplay, the rules. If you're like me and you still have no fucking idea how craps work, even after listening to Data explain it, well, don't you worry. We're gonna teach you craps.
Well, no, it's not that. It's not that. I just want to say like in the show, like Data like runs down, does the Data thing, right? It, like overly explains basic craps, like the basic rules. 7-11 wins. You don't want dice or.
I thought 7-11 was bad.
No, 7 and 11 on the come out roll is fine, right? So you're the first
20 minutes later.
It was the perfect come out roll. And if Data can squeeze the dice to make them roll however he wants, he just has to make sure that they don't ever roll a 7 or an 11. So he can just like keep shooting forever and just like make just ridiculous amounts of money really fucking fast. But no, they have to fucking just do the TV thing, the same thing that every TV trope does when they play craps, is it's just like 7, 11, 7, 7. Oh, this is so fucking fun. No, it's not. You're playing the game wrong. You fucking suck, and this is boring to watch.
I'm losing my mind right now.
what I learned from this is that my skills in Settlers of Catan are actually relevant to craps. So that's fascinating.
Wow.
I'm gonna go try them out. I've never actually, like, as an adult, I've literally never actually gone gambling. I don't think I've ever legally gambled in a casino before. So
Don't do it.
I mean, hey, listen. I could lose $100 every once in a while of podcast Patreon money. Not this podcast, but, my other podcast.
Different podcast.
Well,
I just like adding this new lore to Zotz right now. Not that Zotz worked at a casino, but that that Zotz like worked a casino, you know what I mean?
I would just have fun. Like it was like fun to do. I didn't go like all the time, but when I went, like I wanted to like enjoy myself, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you were just like licking your gums and like
everyone knows about card sharks. Zotz was in the niche underground community of dice sharks.
I never played. I played blackjack like maybe like three or four times anytime I go in the casino, because like first of all, terrible for me. I have dyscalculia really bad.
Ooh,
okay?
yeah.
And so counting like and like the thing is, it's like you have to like know what the cards do when you're playing at a table, because you have to like say hit, stay, you have to like hit or stay like quickly. So you have to know like what's going on, and you have to like calculate how many okay, so like if you're at a full table and there's like 6 people including yourself at a table plus the dealer, you have to like you're like, okay, so like that person has a 12, this person has like a 14, this person has a 7, I have 2 kings, I have whatever, and then but the dealer's showing an 8, and you're just like, and you have to like calculate that and like the probability of like whether the card is next going to be higher or lower, and then if then like what, like you have to like add up the numbers of this everything,
is an issue
whatever.
For you.
This is a big issue for me, because it's like I'm still struggling on being like, okay, so 7 plus 5 is 11, and so wait, no, it's not. It's 12. 7 plus 5 is 12, and then like it gets to me, and I'm just like, oh shit!
Did you live fuck up that calculation?
I did live fuck up.
Yo, let's go.
That's a demonstration of the issue. That's perfect.
So it's like, so it's like and like whatever. So it's like and people are just like I explained it, they're like, oh, so you know how to count cards, and it's like, motherfucker, I don't know how to count. I don't know how to count.
I would know how to count cards if I knew how to count.
If I sit down at the blackjack table, all I'm sitting there is I'm just like, okay, I know to hit on 16. And then I know to stay at whatever, and I split aces and 8s, and then like whatever. Like there's like basic, like I understand like those simple things, but all the metagame like in between on how to actually fucking play, no fucking clue. absolutely zero fucking clue. That's why like dice for me, like there's enough shit where it's just like I can focus on, and like it's still like, and like you can, it's different. It's an entirely different thing. You don't need to know like you can still need to know maths, because like odds pays out. Like you got to understand like what's the payout on like whatever.
Much more like numbers based than blackjack.
No, it's not.
Maybe
no, it's not. It's literally just pictures and like it's like pictures and words, or it's just like, do you put it on the come line? Do you put it on the don't come line? Do you put it on the pass? Do you put it on the pass? Do you put it on like the don't pass line? Do you? And then it's like, okay, the numbers thing. Do I play the field? Do I play the field, or do like whatever? Can I play the field on top of like all this shit? And it's like, and all you're doing is you're just putting your chips on the pictures or the words that you want. You're not necessarily like, you can play the numbers, but that's foolish. The only people that do that are whales who have like too much fucking money and don't care that they're gonna lose like $500 on the throw. Like they're just like whatever.
Do not come.
Do not come.
Do not come.
Oh God, no. All right, we gotta stop talking about fucking casinos, because this is, and mind you, hold on, first of all, no, hold on, I just want to say me ranting about this is more interesting than this fucking episode of Star Trek. Okay,
yeah, that's the thing. I'm not really
it's a wash.
worried. I wasn't really. It's a what? I was not really worried about besides our lengthy pre-check from all my fucking audio bullshit, there's I felt like this before, but this time I feel like we're gonna kind of breeze through this one. There's just not a lot to talk about at this episode.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like 5 minutes of us being like, but Zotz, also I just wanted to say, as someone who grew up playing pool, I feel you.
Oh, I played pool too. That was another, like, I got one of my sister's ex-boyfriends when I was in middle school and high school. His family was just like pool players and pool hustlers, and like the only way that he made his money in the trailer park was just like going down to the bar as a kid and just playing pool. So like and my stepdad at the first house that we lived in with him, he had a pool table. So like when my sister brought her boyfriend over there, he was showing me like how to actually play pool, put English on the ball, how to do trick shots where I could like hit the cue ball so that it like pops a quarter in a shot glass, but then like still gets a ball in like in the corner pocket next to me, like silly shit like this. So it's like that too was like a whole part of like where it's just like it's like, ooh, this is very interesting to me, like I want to do this, like yeah, I don't know, scratching itches.
See, I was just trying to set up a joke about how I'm bad at playing pool despite playing my whole life.
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad.
But pool is actually like has relevance to Star Trek, because we actually see a lot of pool and like pool variations. And one thing that we will learn to understand, Vulcans very good at pool. They are so good at pool. They see all the angles, all the momentum. They just have really great spatial reasoning, and that will come into play when we get to Enterprise in 15 years.
It's kind of a racial trait, It's very it's very
it's very problematic, actually.
It's very calipers. It's very D&D 3.5. But they when they're looking at the angles, the one cool thing they do in Star Trek is they show all the numbers floating around in space around their head, and they're like, wow.
No, they don't. Audience, no, they don't. They don't do that. Normally I'd be fine with lying about what happens in Star Trek, but not when there's the idea that Star Trek is comparable to BBC's Sherlock. Absolutely unacceptable. That's the one thing I will not stand for.
Remember that episode with the boomerang of Star Trek?
No.
Best episode of Enterprise, by the way, the one where they play pool. Look that up. It's one where they go back in time. Well, no, they don't go back in time. She's telling a story. Anyway, not important. It's great, though. Carbon Creek is what it's called. I just look it up, folks. Okay, episode starts. They found apparently a Klingon cruiser told the Federation about some debris, and there's just like orbiting some shitty planet. And so they're like, okay, I guess we gotta go check out this weird debris. I don't know why. If we don't know what it is already, I don't know why it would be relevant that why the Klingons would even be like, oh, hey, here's some debris we found. and the Federation would be like, oh, we better go check out some fucking debris. Like, space has been occupied. We know of civilizations from literally billions of years ago, and a great many of spacefaring civilizations from hundreds of thousands of years ago. Like, holy fuck, you'd think there'd be a lot of debris, just a lot of random places around the galaxy, and it wouldn't be like, while it might be interesting, it wouldn't be necessarily super relevant. But okay, whatever. The Enterprise has come to check out some fucking debris over some shitty planet that has ammonia tornadoes and liquid neon. It's really cold, and they talk about how it's like some temperature that's like way below 0 Celsius, like minus 300 Celsius. And I didn't turbo nerd hard enough to be like, is that a realistic temperature? I don't know if it is, but whatever. I don't think it's a realistic temperature for like a planet of that size, but what? Sorry, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. Again, you could talk about a million little things in this episode because there's just not much to talk about.
Yeah, it's like, oh, check it out, these ammonia vortexes. Woo! And it's like, oh wow, this place sounds really hostile to life. Let's just beam some people down there to this area that seems inexplicably safe. Okay,
yeah,
sure.
I kind of lost the plot about on that part, but because they just kind of beamed out. I'm like, wait, did they just talk about how this planet is fucked up? But I guess they found a little pocket of like breathable air. It's like, oh, let's just beam into it on the super Venus, on Venus but cold. Sorry, Venus but cold. There you go. Picard is talking about some like math thing. It's Faramont's theorem. I was going, and how it's like never been solved. I was gonna again turbo nerd and be like, oh, I bet this has been solved by now, but who fucking cares? It doesn't have any relevance whatsoever.
No, this doesn't matter. This episode sucks. This
episode's so fucking boring. So they go to collect the debris by transporting it on board, even though again they don't know what it is. So why are they just transporting it on board? Okay, whatever. They transport it on board just into their fucking transporter room, not into like a cargo bay, and then it's just some fucking like prop that it's like, oh look, it has NASA and it's got a big old American flag on it. Holy shit, look at that. Cool. Whoa. Look at this thing that we just beamed up. So they're having a meeting and it's like, oh, it turns out this NASA thing is from 2033. I heard 2033 and 2037 at different points. I don't remember which one it was. But regardless, so this is from so it's debris from a NASA thing in 2030. We'll go with 33. So if we us here on Earth, if we have a vessel that attempts to go outside our solar system, the first one, and it has a crew, and someone writes a shitty someone writes a shitty little crime novel, and then a ship disappears in 2033. And Ireland unifies in 2024, we know that we're on the right time and only have a mere 1 to 2, it's not exactly clear, nuclear world wars to get through until we get to Star Trek stuff.
Yeah, so for the love of God, don't let them take Casino Royale with them on the fucking voyage.
No, we have to let it happen.
Oh, God damn it.
Listen, we have
to condemn them to suffering.
Yeah, we have to be okay with an astronaut suffering a Twilight Zone-esque hell, because then we get to the Star Trek timeline and we're gonna have some eugenics wars. It's inevitable.
God damn it.
We're gonna have World War III. We're gonna have the eugenics wars. Maybe they're the same thing. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see pretty soon. So they found some kind. They found some kind of like pocket that they could go down to, and they beam into it. And when they actually like beam it away team down to it, it's fucking hilarious because it's just a pure black background. I wonder how exactly they did this. If they were on like a green screen and then just replaced the green with black, which is what I think they did. It looks awful. It looks truly awful. I can't describe, just like, I don't know why, because there's been a lot of like, you know, cheap effects in Star Trek, but this is one of the cheapest, shittiest looking ones. It's just these guys just standing in this black void, and there's like, and to indicate they're on like the super windy cold planet, there's just a little bit of like mist on the upper part of the screen. It's like a joke.
Yeah, there's a little like matte painting of some swooshing wind in green clouds above them, and that's it. That's all.
They find this pocket of habitat, and then there's a spooky door here. And insert Futurama joke. It's the spooky door. And it's just this revolving door, and it just keeps spinning at like a consistent like pace in the void. There's just nothing behind it. It's just a door spinning forever. And then they're like, oh fuck it, let's try to walk, even though it doesn't even look like the door is attached to a building and you can't like see inside anything. They're like, oh, let's just go touch the door and walk through it as if we're walking into something, even though it just looks like a door that's just spinning in the void. But okay, well, boom, they walk in and suddenly they lose communication, and they step in, and it's a fucking big ass casino. And by big ass casino, I mean the ground floor of some hotel, probably in East Southern California, that they put some gambling related props into and pretended is a casino / hotel. But
they might have gone to Reno.
Sorry?
They might have gone to Reno.
Yeah, they might have. Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I've been to Reno a bunch of times.
Looks better.
Yeah, well, I know this building does look. This building definitely looks like the one building they use. Definitely looks like it's like from, I don't know, like an not Art Deco. It's like a kind of like classical revival style. There's like marble pillars in places. Everything's kind of painted white. I don't fucking know, and I don't really care. But regardless, it's a ground floor of a little fucking hotel. But even like the cheapness and like weirdness of the setting matches to the story, because we're actually gonna find out this is a very consistently told the narrative that we have here. So some random guy is so they lose communication, they drop off the sensors, and some random guy is like, oh hey, go to check-in and speaking with the concierge, who apparently has been expecting them. Riker is talking to the concierge guy. He's trying to make like first contact, as if these are like a normal group of aliens. And they're kind of like playing along. They're asking remarkably little questions, because in Riker's mind, it seems that he's just talking to some fucking aliens, because I mean they just look like humans, but you know, a lot of aliens just look like humans. So he's just playing along, and he like gets a room key. He's like, hey, I'm from the United Federation of Planets, and the concierge is like, yeah, okay, cool. So the bellhop that we just saw a second ago enters into the scene, and really, really cheesy, I guess appropriately cheesy, like saxophone starts playing, and he talks about some woman he's in love with that he clearly shouldn't be in love with because of Mickey D. We'll find out about Mickey D. Worf is the only one to like ask any actual questions, and it's clear that these aren't aliens. They're people. They think they're on Earth. Data scanning the locals, and they're not emitting any life sign. They seem to not exist, but they are there. So I guess it's just like, I don't know, some kind of exotic matter that just looks like humans and stuff. I'm not entirely sure what's happening there, but hey, whatever. Oh, pardon. Hold on, let me drink a little thing.
You got to keep hydrated. You got to keep the throaty slick.
You know, I just took a sip of Mountain Dew, which is actually counterproductive of what I was attempting to do. So up in the Enterprise, they're trying to figure out what happened, because from their perspective, they just completely lost contact with everyone. But apparently, Riker should have returned to the beam-in coordinates the moment that they lost contact, but he just didn't. He didn't try to do that because he's just too amused. And Troy senses that he's amused. Extremely professional. So the sensors can't get to them, but Troy can sense them from orbit of some fucking planet, and she can just like sense. Maybe she can just sense Riker because she has that like connection to him, and I don't know. It's never really
weird.
spelled out like. Yeah. How psionics work in the Star Trek setting. Sometimes it's scientific, sometimes it's not. Like psychic things put out like waves that you can detect with sensors. So
doesn't it depend on who's doing it too?
Yeah,
they just like change it per group. And it's like, okay, hey, to be fair, it makes sense that different groups of people separated by thousands of light years and tons of time would have different ways of doing psionics if they developed it, but also it's just kind of vibes. It's always just kind of vibes.
It's a vibe-based science fiction concept. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Data gets roped into playing a game of blackjack, and apparently doesn't know what blackjack is, even though he knows what poker is. But I mean, I guess blackjack just fell out of favor over the years. It's a lost art form. Data's cheating. He's counting the cards to get a 5-card Charlie. This indicates that Data looked at all of the cards prior to shuffling and shuffled, because if he had actually randomly shuffled, he would not have known that he was going to draw. Like he just doesn't he doesn't have enough data to know exactly what. He doesn't have enough data. He doesn't have enough data.
Oh, you're saying that when he touched the cards, he knew every card. In the same way that when he held the dice,
observed what all of the cards were, because he shuffles the cards and he just doesn't have enough information to, if he actually randomly shuffle the cards. So now we know Data can perfectly count any cards that at the very minimum he touches. So you can't trust machines. You can't play cards with the machines. They're gonna know every single one of them. They're gonna cheat. Definitely don't let them cut the deck. You gotta break out a new deck and get an auto shuffler. No, don't get an auto shuffler. That's also a machine. Fuck. So they try to leave the casino with a hilarious effect, because the revolving door just keeps continuing to spin even when they're in the casino on the opposite side, and then they walk in and they walk out and then in of it, and it's very clearly they just stayed in the revolving door and walked back in a circle. You can see their shadow. You're meant to imagine that they walked through it, and as they're walking through it like a portal, they just also walk immediately back into it. But no, they just very clearly just spun with the door. You can see their momentum too.
I'm offended at how how much you're shitting on somebody's good idea. Okay, somebody pitched this and they were like, oh yeah, no, that's a great workaround. And yeah, that was here you are just
that is true. It is a good idea that gets ruined in execution, because you could just see Riker just hugging the middle of the revolving door to get the momentum to walk back in straight. I love it. It's great. So they start asking around, and no one will respond to them. They tried phasering a wall, and they even set the phaser to super phaser, and they can't break through this random wooden wall. I don't know why they're trying to just break through this random. Worf moves a slot machine.
He shoves it. He just kind of shakes it a little bit. He's like, "This is a strong wall." and then Riker comes, and then Riker's like, "Oh yeah, you touched it. Oh, it must be a very strong wall, Worf." And
This extra dimensional space has good bones.
No, that's just another racial trait that Klingons have. They can sense the density of any surface they touch.
They're actually like space dwarves, like taking it back to D&D, right?
Oh, yeah.
They've got stone sense, you know?
Yeah,
They're
they
just
do
like
stone
they're touching it
sense.
and like, ooh, I can feel it.
Oh my god! I actually want Klingons to have stone sense. I think that'd actually be sick.
I just want them running around yelling rock and stone. I'm mixing up my intellectual properties right now, but
why do I feel like that's so strong? Why do I feel like it's so cool that if the Klingons were able to like sense the Earth? Why do I think that's cool? Is that cool? Is that a good idea? Should they canonize that?
No.
If New Trek canonized that, you know what? I'm on board. Give Klingon stone sense, then I'll be absolutely.
No,
on
but they
board
should
with
give
any
it to the
bullshit.
Remans. They should give it to the Remans. That's what I'm saying.
No,
okay?
Reman should not be canon.
The Remans should be canon and have stone sense.
None of the events of Nemesis should be canon. Like what a fucking awful.
It's too late. It's too late. It's in Star Trek Online. Can't put it back in the box.
Damn it! It's in Star Trek. It's in the Lore Bible, otherwise known as Star Trek Online. Fuck. So they're just, so they're like, oh, Troy communicates Riker's feelings to Picard, and he's like, oh, we get the sense of being they feel trapped all of a sudden. They're becoming a little more anxious. It's like, what were they thinking when they wrote Troy as a character? Does this meaningfully raise the stakes? Can you retain an audience through Troy being like, we can see them in trouble, and then we get a scene where Troy communicates that they're in trouble to Picard? Like, what a purely why do I always
you want me to handle this?
Superfluous.
Nope, it's superfluous.
It's superfluous.
It's spelled wrong.
Wait, what?
It is not spelled the way it is said.
Wait,
sorry.
how do you actually say it?
Superfluous.
I'm not touching this.
Really?
Y'all can stumble.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. I guess that's why I feel weird about it, is because it sounds wrong. What?
Oh my god, superfluous. I said it wrong the second time. I fucking hate that word.
Okay, now I feel a little bit better at the very least.
Yeah, no, hey, I went to like this is a running joke in the world around me that I went to school for fucking everything, but I kind of went to school for fucking everything, and one of the fun things is that it's partially like an English degree that I got. I went to like super liberal arts college, you know. It's not like a little liberal arts. It's like you're getting everything, baby. It's all getting rammed in there. We're ramming it down, little Texas style, you know. And you know. So I got that little bit of English degree in there, and it allows me to know things about words I just don't actually care about. It's great.
Every time we try to say superfluous,
you got it. Superfluous, you got it.
Superfluous.
I'm sitting over here like just thinking in my head, I'm like, I don't care about this, but like I do my damnedest to make sure I say the word emu right.
Emu?
Yeah, that's how you say. Yeah,
it's with a U. I had no idea.
Yeah. It's not emu, it's emu. Yeah,
I'll have to tell the company Blue Emu that sells emu oil stuff to people.
How do you get oil out of an
it's grizzly
through a press?
So you don't want to know.
It's the same way they got oil out of penguins. All those British sailors.
It's just you grind them down, but it's not good.
Stellar. I don't even like this song has stuck in my fucking head all day, and I don't even like it. It's very rare for me to get songs stuck in my head that I don't like in some way. It's a VTuber song. It's famous, but it sucks. Okay. Superfluous. So Troy is a superfluous character. Am I saying it right? I feel confident now.
Superfluous, yeah.
Superfluous. Okay, all those other times that I'm saying superfluous, I'm gonna record Google pronouncing it like very slowly and just insert it there.
Hold on,
okay.
now I'm looking it up.
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
looking it up to make sure that I've not been lied to. But
okay, I just assumed. I'm taking you on good faith. I didn't think you were operating in bad faith.
Yeah,
are you operating in bad faith?
I'm definitely operating in bad faith.
Oh fuck, we're gonna have to go on the bad faith podcast.
Oh
to learn
no!
what happened to
Anything
Virgil,
but
Texas.
That. Oh no!
Wait, you know where Virgil, Texas is? Have you alerted his family?
He assassinated the Japanese prime minister.
Oh whoa! Okay, so now I'm hearing superfluous. No, superfluous.
Superfluous.
God damn.
Superfluous?
I want to hear it. Yep. Superfluous.
Superfluous. So like flu,
Us.
and then us.
Superfluous.
Superfluous. Super. What?
I hate this. Please cut all of this. If you leave this in, I'm never doing Love Trek again.
That's incredibly fair. Keep it in. I'm just kidding.
Let's see. Okay, yes, Troy. What was it? Oh yeah, I was complaining about Troy. What a useless character. Okay, moving on. Wait, I thought I'd be doing a lot more Troy hate than I have been doing. So I haven't done Troy hate in a while. I gotta insert in a little Troy hate. Troy, often a great character. Most of the time, not. Most of the time, not a great character.
Written to be very weird. Just really, really weird character.
Yeah, it's Troy has like the highs and like the lowest lows in like the quality of writing, because she is used as a prop just like most often, and then a lot of the times, because Rita Sirtis is a very good actor, a lot of the times when she's actually given something to do, she's great. She nails it. She nails her character so well. She feels great. And then they just then she's just a pointless exposition machine, because they just don't know what to do with her most of the time.
She really is one of the better actors on the show.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
and a cast of great actors, she is one of the better ones.
And she's just treated like fucking shit all the time. It's just like, oh, your character's basically there to just have cleavage. It's like, oh, great, thanks, appreciate that. This real, pretty good actor who's like really fucking like, when she gets a role that like works for her, like it goes, and then like fucking everyone's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, she kills it in so often in Star Trek. She has this kindness that and professionalism that just works in tandem just like so well. She sells this character so well, but because this character has psychic abilities, she's mostly used to like relay exposition that is entirely pointless. She's mostly used to just have a scene and just ruin it, which is also why there's a fan, not a fan theory, but a fan joke that like Troy is actually a huckster. She just doesn't have any power. She's just lying about it.
And if she'd played that like that the entire time, I think that would have been really funny and good. If she was like I'm sensing, and rubs her head, and she's like, I'm sensing something.
Yeah, that's just like her internal world. You can just see her trying to like keep up the act. It's like oh god, it's like the what's his name from Mob Psycho, the adult.
I have no idea. So you're asking
knows what I'm
Zotz,
talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Mob Psycho, the guy from Mob Psycho.
Who? Which one? There's
Never
a lot
mind.
of guys in Mob Psycho.
Don't worry about it. Okay, so
Are you talking about his ment? Are you talking about Mob's mentor?
Yeah, the guy.
Oh God,
Troy. We're saying that Troy is that guy pretending to have psychic powers.
Oh. Okay, I get it now.
So what did that do for the audience? Who fucking knows? Riker goes to consult the concierge, and there's another I know I said pulpy, but I said there's another puppy scene. There's another scene where Riker's being a little puppy boy, and then bad music plays where the bellhop has a gun. He's gonna try to scare Rita away from Mickey D, or Mickey D away from Rita. It's not really clear what's going on. I think
It's
he's trying to sleep. Yeah, right. It's underdeveloped. He's trying to sleep with a mob boss's wife. Maybe I don't know. It's
some shit like that.
Yeah, it's an in canon bad plot, and we don't have like a great grasp over it. It is totally fine. So with a lot of interference, they end up being able to communicate with the Enterprise, thus making the purpose of Troy even more suspect. So Data is like, oh, I'm gonna start scanning on my tricorder, and he's like, aha, I'm detecting some cum upstairs. There's some cum somewhere upstairs, and the away team goes to investigate. The reading begins to intensify, and it turns out that the cum reading was actually the DNA of an ancient decayed human being that's just sitting on a bed. He's all mummified and gross. He apparently died in his sleep, and Worf has like a great little line where he's like, oh, he died peacefully in his sleep, and Worf's like, oh, what a terrible way to die. Mm-hmm. They find the guy's like space suit, and apparently there's 52 states on the United States flag, which places it from 2033 to 2071. And I can't believe it takes that long to grant DC and Puerto Rico statehood, but
I know.
You know what? In actuality, I'm sad that Puerto Rico. Maybe it wasn't Puerto Rico. Maybe it was
Iraq.
I was gonna say American. I was gonna say American Samoa, because there's other colonized islands on that the United States has.
Never
mind.
How many people actually live in American Samoa? Because we also have Guam.
My God.
Which
they do. They do.
Which is more populated, Guam or American Samoa?
That's a good question. Probably American Samoa, but I'm not sure.
So they grant the U.S. Virgin Islands and our slice of the moon statehood in 2033. No, they grant the American Virgin Islands and our little slice of Antarctica that we got in international treaties. Those become the 51st and 52nd state, and DC and Puerto Rico are like, come on. the Antarctica one gets statehood because
it was Guam.
Sorry?
It was Guam, because there's like 3 times the population.
That's what. Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Yeah.
What I like to think it's that it's the Antarctica slice, because imagine so Antarctica continues to green. Ecological catastrophe, by the way, the greening of Antarctica. But Antarctica continues to green, and then they set up a kind of like villages-esque community in Antarctica.
Oh yeah, they got the golf carts.
Yeah, and then so there's just a bunch of like old retirees that just go down to the green part of Antarctica, and are able to and just set up, and there's like 1,000 people there, but they get statehood anyway.
Yeah, and the full tropics is just a full desert at this point, and Antarctica is the place to be.
Oh, I've got it. Okay, so Florida sinks into the ground, and they have to pick up the villages and move it to Antarctica, where it'll be more stable. So the guy, so the guy there, he's a designated corpse. So apparently he was on the first manned spacecraft attempting interstellar travel. So now we get the lowdown on the hotel. So the hotel appears to be based on a book, like some book that the astronauts had on them, presumably had on them. And that the aliens didn't just find like some random book on like Amazon and then based human culture on it. So it's some fucking book that the astronauts had, and then they were contaminated. It's not really clear exactly what happened, but somehow they were contaminated by some kind of alien life form, and it just basically disintegrated like the entirety of the ship, and it killed everyone except for this one guy. And the aliens set up this like very advanced habitat for him, thinking for some reason that book, which they can apparently understand perfectly to the point that the proceedings essentially play out like if they were constructed in a holodeck. So that book is a description of the humans' preferred habitat and social situation, and then basically just never checked on him or attempted to communicate with him in any way. And this is all revealed in the final and apparently solo journal entry, as this astronaut apparently only wrote one thing after being trapped in this hotel for 38 years. And the funny thing here is that the book sucks. In canon, like the book, like in the show, they're like talking about like the book sucks. The astronaut's like, oh yeah, this is the shitty book with shallow characters and constant cliches, and we cut back and Picard's attempting to read the book in order to understand the situation better, and it starts out, he's like reading it out loud, and he starts out with, "It was a dark and stormy night," and he and Troy just cringe. Like, they're just like, oh god.
Yeah, that was a good joke. I'm glad they put that in. So they go back down, and the old guy is playing blackjack with Data, and he's clearly trying to work over this young broad by getting her, I don't know, to gamble away all her money or something. Like, this is apparently the subplot of the book, and I don't really get it, but it doesn't matter. So so what's happening here is this old guy, this old guy who's got a cowboy hat on, and he's probably an oil billionaire or something like that. He's like, hey there, Missy, what if I got you to lose all of your money so that I can pay for you and you're indebted to me? I think that's what's going on there. Yeah, I think that's his whole thing. He wants to pay. He wants to pay for her to,
well, and that's what I gathered by like the actions, but then like the description of what that subplot is was a little like incongruous with that.
A little underdeveloped, maybe.
The description that Data gave of the plot. But hey, whatever. Maybe it's just some scripting issue. The book plot continues, and Mickey D with the real Benny from Fallout New Vegas energy, he enters, and they share some dialogue back and forth with him and the bellboy who got the gun and is part of this like love triangle where you never actually see the lady, and there's. And they're like talking like out loud, and it appears that like while they're talking, Picard is listening to like an audiobook version of the book, and he just looks so fucking bored. So Picard and Troy, they're just sitting in a room, they're listening to this audio playing, which is the same thing that's like happening in real life down there, and they just have like their fucking head in their hands. It's like, oh my god, this sucks. Troy is like, do they really talk like that back then? And Picard's like, no, no, they did not. So Mickey D. So Mickey D shoots the guy. So they're like, hey, let's take this outside. And Mickey D just shoots him in the back before they even get outside. And there's like 100 people there. And what's described in the book, what then apparently happens is the book is like hastily wrapped up in that some foreign investors buy out the hotel. And Data's like, oh, okay, well, we gotta make some money. It's a lot of stuff happens, and then but none of it's really that important. But essentially, they're like, okay, Riker comes up with a plan. He's like, oh my god, we gotta be the foreign investors in order to leave the hotel. I don't know why this works or why he thinks this would work, but because
we gotta finish the plot of the book to make it work, I guess.
So he gets the idea after Mickey D shoots the bellboy, he walks out, and then Riker gets the idea, Mickey D just walked out. How do we walk out? So you have to be a character in the story in order to actually walk out of the hotel, even though presumably Mickey D didn't actually just walk out of the hotel. He probably just fucking dematerialized the moment that he got in. But okay, so we realize that they can leave the hotel to go back outside in order to be transported off the planet. And this isn't something that the astronaut like didn't figure out after 38 years because he didn't have anyone to beam him up. He could have just gone outside into the shitty planet, but whatever. So they're like, oh, Mickey D gets to leave. So now if we take on the role of some book characters, then we can do it. Even though presumably those book characters would have or will show up, and this is like a habitat in order to keep a person safe. This isn't like a fucking holodeck program that they have to figure out an escape room. But okay, whatever. So they find out the foreign investors leave at some point, and so they're like, we have to become the foreign investors in order to be able to leave. So I guess if the foreign investors didn't happen, they would have had to replay the plot 3 times in order to become Mickey D and then shoot the bellboy in order to then leave. Well, that would have been fun. That would have been funny. But okay, sure. So they're like, okay, we need to win a bunch of money. Data, can you go cheat at craps? And Data's like, yes, I could cheat at craps. So I don't know when. So we're gonna get into our segment of how to play craps.
Oh no!
But first,
no.
So the dice. Okay, so let me understand the situation here. So they're gonna go win at craps, and Data can just because he's an android, he can just shoot whatever number he wants.
Hold on, pause. I didn't understand this part because it's like so the point is set when Data comes up, right? And he shoots it and he craps out. So he had a 7 after the point was set. Okay.
Okay. All right.
And then he says,
all right.
And then he says,
no, wait, we got to ground it. We got to ground it real quick. Zotz, what the fuck does the point being set? What does that mean?
So basically it means that a number was thrown that wasn't a 2 or a 12 or 2, 12 or 3, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, 2, 12 or 3. And it also, or excuse me, the following numbers cannot be thrown if you want to, or the following numbers cannot be thrown if you're looking to set the point.
What is setting the point? Is that what you do at
3,
the beginning?
Yeah. So your come out roll. So you get so you're at a craps table, right?
Yeah.
You're handing the dice.
Game starts.
Okay? Game start. The dice are in your hand. You throw the dice. Okay. If you roll a 2, a 3, or a 12, you crap out. You're done.
Okay.
On your come out roll.
You lose whatever
you
bet you had.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no way to win.
Okay.
Right.
If you roll a 7 or 11, everyone gets their money on the pass line. Whatever they did, they get their money back. Right. Okay.
So they just get their money back. They don't win anything.
Well, no, you get, it's even odds. So it's like if you bet $5, the casino gives you $5.
I understand. Okay.
Okay. All right. And then, so then every other number, right? Then that's in between, or every other number that's not any of those. That's not a 2, a 3, a 12, a 7, or an 11, right? Mm-hmm. All those numbers then. So let's say, as Data did, his come out roll was a 6. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then he looks puzzled for a second, right? And then he shoots again and it's a 7. So he crapped out. All right.
Okay, so 7 is good at first and then it's bad. Why does 7 become bad?
because that's how, because seven
Okay.
and 11. Here's the reason why.
Okay.
Because you asked me why. Don't interrupt me when I'm fucking telling you.
I'm sorry.
So-
I needed to go step back for a second.
So because 7 and 11 are I think 7 specifically has the most common
Yes.
rolls.
The most common results on two dice.
On two six-sided dice. Yes. Okay. So therefore, if you set a point and then you roll a 7, right? That's how the casino wins. Does that make sense?
Okay, so 7 is good for the very first roll, and then after that, a 7's bad.
Yes, because
Okay.
you have to lose the game. It's gambling. There have to be rules for you to lose.
Yes.
So so data sets the point. It's a 6. And the reason why I remember it's a 6 is because 6 is a good come out roll if you're trying to make a lot of money. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So data sets the point as a 6. He rolls 7 and he craps out. He looks confused. And he says, these dice are set in are weighted, right?
Unbalanced.
They're unbalanced, right? Which is like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because if you're playing street dice, right, and you're using weighted dice, how you make weighted dice is you heat up a pair of dice with the numbers that you want to. So basically, you can put 2 6-sided dice in a in a low temperature toaster oven, and you put the numbers that you want to come up facing up, so that basically you make the heavier. So it's like buttered toast, right? If you drop buttered toast, it always lands butter side up, right? That's you're creating the same effect. So you're weighting the dice.
Yeah.
So it's like, how are the dice uneven if they're just regular dice? If they're unbalanced, dice aren't.
I guess it's a manufacturing error.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, especially since what he rolled wasn't he rolled 2 very different numbers. He rolled 2 6 and 8. Why the odds are so great are why the payout odds are so better on them is because the odds of you rolling a 6 or 8 are very low on the dice, as opposed to the 2, 3, or 12, which you can only get. Those only have you can only there's only one set of those ones. But anyways,
2, 3, and 12 are rare.
2, 3, and 12 are rare, exactly. So then the next set would be your 6 and 8, which is why the payout odds on them are different, because you're paid out on the odds that that number appears, right? Does that make sense to you?
So you bet on a number to roll.
Yes. And you're paid out on the odds that it comes. So it's if you're at a 5, and so here's the thing: if you're at a 5, so let's go back to $5.
So are you trying
right?
to roll the same number twice?
No. If you want to make a bunch of money, right? Right? You set the point, and then
Set the point
roller
being you roll, and that's the point.
Yeah, you roll, and it's not any of those other numbers that I said.
Yeah.
Okay. So you set the number, right? You set your point, okay? And then you roll your die, okay? A hot shooter at a craps table, a hot shooter is somebody who sets a point and is just throwing fucking numbers, just constantly everything except for the point number and except for 7 or 11. Constant, literally every other number except for the point number, 7 and 11, because 7 and 11 after you set the point is a you crap out. Okay.
Oh, okay. Wait. Okay. So I get it. I get it now. I understand. Okay. Let me see if I understand this correctly. So
That's one of us.
So you roll, and then all those different and at the start of the game, all those different numbers, all the 2, 3, 7, 11, they all have different 2, 3, 7, 11, right? Those are the only ones.
2, 3, 7, 11, and 12 on the come
2,
out
3,
roll.
7, 11, and 12. Got it. Okay,
Yeah,
so those have an effect at the start of the game, and then if you roll something, the commonality of that roll, presuming it's not one of those other numbers, means that rolling anything else is going to get you money. It means you win. Is that
not? Yes and no.
So if I roll a 6 and then and because that's common, if I then roll like an 8 and a 9 and a 4, then I'm getting paid out.
No. So if you roll an 8 or a 9 or a 4, right? So basically, so now we're really getting into it. Okay, so all right, no, let's keep this easy.
They're like leaking out of my fucking ears right now.
let's keep it easy. Let's keep this easy, okay? Let's keep this easy.
Yeah.
You roll a 6, right? You understand that, right? The point is now a 6, okay? Yeah. So now what you want to do is you want to put, like, if it's a $5 bet, you would put $6 behind your pass line because that's the thing, right? Your initial bet of $5, right, doesn't go anywhere because you haven't won and you haven't lost on the come out roll.
Yeah.
All right. So now you're playing the odds. All right. If you roll a 6 on your second roll, right, you're paid for your initial bet. So you're $5. And then you're paid $7 back on the you're paid $7 back on the odds because you're paid like an extra $1 because you're paid an extra $1. That's why you make more money. I might be wrong because numbers, my brain is bad with numbers, but you might, but you understand.
Don't need to be good. Like what's good and what's bad.
Yeah. So basically, whatever. So, but if you, on your second roll, you set the point as a 6 and your second roll is a 4, right? It's just a 4. And then you get the dice back. If you put money on the number 4, right? Then you can, then whoever put money on 4, they get money on 4. Does that make sense?
Okay, so then basically, so you are betting for specific numbers and then hoping those come up, and then the rarity of those numbers, provided that they are in a 7-Eleven,
determine how much money you make. Determine how much money you get paid out. So that's
much more simple than what I was thinking it was.
Yeah, no. It's very easy. Like you just basically, like, after the point is set, the shooter, the person who's throwing the dice, is at that point, everybody is at the mercy of the shooter. Everybody is like, people want the same person shooting for the longest time because that means that everybody is making money at the table. Because as long as that person doesn't roll the point number or the 7 or the 11, they could just keep playing. Everybody at the table just keeps playing, and like you can push your bet.
You're not like losing money if that person's playing a game, and so if you bet money on 4, then if you bet money on 4, then if they roll like a 9, you still have money on 4, and you're just hoping they roll it. Okay,
exactly.
That makes. Oh, that's why it's fun. That's why it's fun to play in a group.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I get it.
Yeah. So now you know why. So now you know why it's so frustrating for people who play craps to like watch like TV shows and they're just shooting 7s.
Oh yeah, because that's not exciting. Because the whole point of craps is that there's like a bunch of people around like a table and they're cheering for someone who's rolling because it's making everyone money. And if they just keep rolling a 7, then they're the only ones making money.
No. Everyone else who plays on the pass line is just making their money back. But it's just like, but you're only getting like, that's not fun. It's just like, you're just like, it's like if everyone's just like, if it instead of like, because the whole point of like making money at craps, like I said before, is you bet money on the odds so you can get paid out more. Right. Than just your initial investment of like $5. Right. So instead of it just being, so basically what happened was Data had a good point, and he could have, like I said at the beginning, he set the point at 6. He could have just squeezed the dice so that they never rolled a 6 again, and every time like it was like, and he would just make sure they never rolled a 7 or 11 again, right? And like he could have just squeezed them really hard so they only rolled a 4. Right, and if he just constantly rolled just through, so that's that's how he could have done it. He could have. Here's how he could have done it. Here's how Data could have fucking made the money faster. Okay, here's if I were Data and I had this ability, right? Set the point at 6. Split half my money then. Playing the odds on the 6 behind my pass line bet, and then putting the rest of the money that I have on the 6 itself. Okay, then the other half of the money would go on the number 8. All right, and then I would just make the dice just roll 4s, or just something else that like wouldn't fucking hurt on an 8 or a 6. Or a 7 or an 11. All right. I would just like make it roll like some arbitrary, like a fucking 4 or 3, whatever. And I would just shoot the dice. If he just did that, he would just be like, just making bank. Like there would be like no stopping him. Like, cause like if he could just like make it roll like the same like 2 numbers over and over again that wouldn't make him cash out, they wouldn't have to, it would be exciting. And like nobody would have to sit there and be like, okay, here's my initial bet. Here's my $5 back. Oh, that's another $5 back. Oh, that's another $5
so you don't actually
back.
get money for rolling the initial. You just get your money back. So you don't actually make any money.
No, it's an even bet.
So you double your money. So if I had $10, I'd overall come out with $20. So I rolled 7 initially.
Yeah, but you see like how that's not, it's like slow and not fun. Like there's no point. Like if you could cheat at a game like that, why the fuck would you go like the slowest, like boringest route? And in fact, like if you're shooting set, like that's suspicious as fuck. Yeah. If someone is just like coming up and they're just shooting just like straight 7s and 11s the whole time.
So what happened? Like, so I gotta correct you on something, because Data doesn't alter the dice so that a certain number comes up. Data is able to just roll the dice however he wants, because he just understands like exactly how they'll go, but he initially assumes that they're properly balanced, and so they're imbalanced, and that's why he rolls the wrong thing, because he assumed they're balanced. So he rebalances them by just like squeezing them into a proper like even density, and then he's able to roll whatever the fuck he wants.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So this is actually this is actually kind of a fun scene. So Data becomes like a real fucking hot shooter. He just immediately, like, once everything is figured, once all those logistics figured out, he immediately is just like, dead daddy needs a new pair of shoes, and just
he literally said that. Yeah, daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Gets his even bet back, and it's like, oh, we're gonna be here all fucking night, aren't we?
Well, if you keep doubling your money, that's gonna go pretty quick.
Yeah, if they keep like putting more money on, like if they
you double your money each time. So you start out with 10, then 20, then 40, then 80, and then it goes from there, and that goes really quick. So you could turn like $10 into $20 million in probably like, I don't know, not even that many rounds. I don't know how many that is off the top of my head.
Sure.
But that's not even that. That doesn't even take that long. So, but if you're making more money faster, from what I understand, so if he set it at like a 6 and then kept betting on like a 2, and then he rolled a 2, he'd get way more money, right? Because 2's rare.
Well, you can't.
Okay, well, I don't understand craps.
No. Yeah, we're not going to get into.
I don't understand craps. I keep thinking I understand craps, and I keep not. So the broad has all of her money taken away by the old like oil guy, and they just fucking roll a bunch of money in the concierge, and then he's like, oh, we'd like to cash out. They're like, I'm afraid we don't have $30 billion in 1954 money to pay you. And then he's like, it's okay, I'll just buy the hotel. And I'm just kind of thinking, is this thing you could do? If the hotel just owes you a bunch of money, can you just like, I'll just buy the hotel instead? I guess, sure.
I don't think so. I think they would literally just be like, sorry, you have to leave now. That's usually how casinos work. Where if you're winning too much, they're like, hey, play a different game or go home.
Yeah, I know. I had a math teacher in high school who had like a bunch of friends. They would go up to like Rito and would count cards and like make money. And what he said casinos like to do is that when because they don't unlike the movie Casino, they don't just take you into a back room and break your hands with a fucking sledgehammer anymore. They just hint the threat of that. They're just like, hey, congratulations on your win. Here's some free buffet passes. Enjoy. and so in order to not make waves, they just sort of like, all right, well, we will go enjoy our buffet pass. So yeah, they just ask you to leave, which they can do because it's not like this is like a state institution. This is a private thing. Because they asked to buy the hotel because now they've made like $40 billion fucking dollars. They're like, yeah, we'd like to buy the hotel. And the concierge is like, you're the foreign investors, which it kind of seems like the concierge guy is like sort of the game master here. Like he recognizes like what's going on in the story to some degree. Like he's some kind of consciousness maybe, but it's kind of unclear, but okay. Oh, they're now the foreign investors, and so because the foreign investors leave, they go back abroad, and even though they bought the hotel, they leave the assistant manager in charge. Now they leave back to their foreign country, and then they're able to be beamed up. The episode ends.
Yeah, there's one thing we missed, which is that the in the episode, Picard at some point describes a knot that has been a lasting puzzle for people for a long time because nobody could figure out how it was made.
It's the what's it called? Do you have it up?
I don't have it up. I don't remember.
Okay. It's Fermat's last theorem is what it is.
Yeah. Anyways, so he has that at like somewhere in the middle of the episode towards the beginning, and then at the end of the episode they I think it's Riker goes into the ready room with him and is like, oh, reference the thing because they're like, hey, we didn't figure out what happened on the surface, and that was all foreshadowing for that. But it was also badly done. It didn't really feel like it at all.
Yeah, I hardly even remember this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it wasn't really relevant.
Yeah, so they just did that, and they're like, "Yep, we never figured it out. Oh well."
They're like, "Oh, that's it." Like, this episode did not have to happen. Nobody had to write this. Like, they didn't have to read that shitty fucking book. Like,
it's over.
Yeah, was this just all the shit on Ian Fleming for writing Casino Royale? Yeah, yeah, it was. I don't know if that's true, but that's in my head what this is all about.
So yeah, so at the beginning, as I said, they set up this Fermat's last theorem thing, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's gone unsolved for 800 years," and I just assumed like, "Oh, I bet this got solved. I bet this already got solved." in this line age poorly. I'm looking it up now. Yes, it was solved in 1993.
Just like a couple years after this episode's aired. That's funny.
oh yeah.
University professor Andrew Wills solved it in 1993, and he won the Abel Prize, not a Nobel Prize. He won the Abel Prize for it, but apparently he didn't win that until 13 years later. So he won that in 2016. So he solved this like famous theorem. I don't know how. I don't know the details of it. Go watch like, I don't know, fucking stand-up math or whatever on YouTube.
Is it even famous? I don't even know. You know?
Yeah, is it even famous anymore after it got solved? Are people just like, oh, okay, all right, well, moving on. There's actually a few interesting things in here. I'm gonna try.
Are there?
Go through. Yeah, it will not in the episode itself, but about the episode.
Oh, okay.
So
got it.
the first use of "It Was a Dark and Stormy Night," which was actually in 1830. I don't know. The novel's called Paul Clifford. Apparently it has been spoofed for literally from the beginning, from the moment it started getting used. Other authors started making fun of it because its incompetence and melodramaticness, and it holds true here to Picard. It's always kind of brave when like a writer is like commenting on shitty writing, because then it like lends like an eye to like, well, how well is the thing that you're writing right now. But it works here because of just how shitty the narrative is, and because of how the shitty narrative the narrative of the book is. This episode actually has a pretty tight, if not extremely boring narrative, but yeah, what the fuck ever.
Everybody is in pain. That's just basically it. Like everybody, the people, like
this
episode sucked. There's nothing to hate about it unless you're a gambler. Unless you're a compulsive gambler, there's nothing to hate about this episode other than like, oh, I saw it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, okay. I think so this episode makes a lot of sense. So, there's an homage to one of Gene Roddenberry's other fucking failed projects in this, apparently. Something called the Quester Tales. Anyone know about the Quester Tales? That sure is fucked up.
No, never heard of it.
I have no fucking idea what it is. They tried to launch it in the 1970s and it failed or didn't get off the ground or something. Oh my god. Okay, so there's actually not a lot that's interesting stuff there. So the fate of the astronaut here, this is an extremely Twilight Zone-esque episode, because the astronaut is like in hell, and he literally describes the situation as hell. Like I'm not mad at these aliens. They know not what hell they've put me through. I'd be kind of pissed at the aliens, I'm not gonna lie, but I guess he had 38 years to think about it, so hey, whatever. What were you saying, Zotz?
Oh, I don't even remember. I think you should actually. I actually think. Hold on, I'm gonna look up the exact line, because the exact line is very good. What was it? What was the name of this episode again?
The Royale. I don't know. Okay, well, Zotz looks up whatever line that is. I want to have something more to talk about, but like this episode just sucks. I think we talk. And this is one of those episodes doesn't suck because it's like just actively bad. Like I don't know. Like I mean, Code Noir is one we always go to.
This one was pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, not bad as in like incompetently done to any kind of obscene degree. This is just bad because it's incredibly mediocre, not because it's like neither good nor bad. It's just it's boring. It's so boring, not in its average quality, but in the fact that its average quality has absolutely nothing going on. There's barely anything interesting going on. There's a couple things, like I think a lot of people will remember this episode.
I didn't.
Okay. I've heard people talk about this episode occasionally because it's kind of notable for how not notable it is, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
It's a paradox because there's a couple scenes where Data's having fun shooting craps that are fun, and Picard being bored by the book. There's individual scenes that are okay, that are fun to watch, and then the overall structured narrative, because there's no tension in it. The tension is are they going to be able to get out of this place that poses no immediate danger to them? They're just kind of trapped somewhere. And,
I found
and the answer
line.
is yes, they get out. So
I found the line.
That's why.
I found the line I was looking for.
All right.
I hold no malice towards my benefactors. They could not possibly know the hell that they have put me through, for it was such a badly written book filled with endless cliche and shallow characters. I shall welcome the death when it comes.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what was that?
That's the end of the guy's diary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, amazing. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, fuck.
Also, we forgot like another silly fucking moment that like I was supposed like was meant to be funny, but it was just really just awful. Like it was supposed to be like I understand like they were trying to be like, oh, look at these future people not understanding how the past works type thing, right? So it's like okay, it's like when Worf picks up the phone for room service, right? And it's like there's a female voice asking if we want room service. And Data's like, I think she's asking if we want the room cleaned. And Riker's like, tell her no. Worf's like, no. And then Riker's like, what did she say? And then he's like, she said the kitchen will be open for 24 hours if we change our mind. And it's just like, wait, why did anybody say this?
I guess I was thinking about that too. I think they're establishing like how the guy lived for so long, even though they didn't really need to, because presumably they just like have food.
Amazing.
I literally think that's it. So final tidbit that I found. Okay, so the original draft of this episode was even worse somehow. So this guy, his image was kept alive in the casino by the aliens, and a dead away team crew woman. So I'm guessing that when they say away team crew woman, it's like was another a member of the original like spaceship from like the 1930s. So she was also resurrected to keep the guy company after the unseen casino manager told the story of the Colonel's shipwreck, and then the guy was the only one of the 7-person crew to survive. So originally they come down into this casino, and then there's a guy there, and his like soul is kept in this purgatory forever, and he just has like this fake copy of like a woman crew member that he knew that's also kept alive with him. And none of that made it into the final. It's so good. It's fucking that. I think that's the missing ingredient to make this like a real shitty episode. Instead, this is just, I don't know, boring. This is the most boring episode of Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the most boring episode? I think it is.
It's up there.
Because there's people being bored in the episode too.
Yeah.
There's no I think I figured out is that there's no tension. It's just like, okay, how are they? It's not even because you I guess maybe because you know it's a show that like the tension of like, oh, whether are they gonna stay in this like shitty copy of this casino forever, or are they ever going to be able to get out? And that tension is kind of like negated by the fact that they're just in constant communication with the Enterprise after just like a random point like in the center. There's no tension to it at all, which I mean maybe that's like a meta commentary. Well, like any shittiness in this episode might also be like a meta commentary for like the shittiness of the fictional book that they invented. But that's boring. It's just it's just as boring as the book that they're parodying, except they're just, except that doesn't really come through. It's a book that you invented so that you yourself are boring. It's like ironic humor.
It is, but it's just really poorly executed.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's Star Trek. This one sucks. Don't suck.
Do the thing. I don't know. I'm so over this right now. Like, I'm waiting.
Right. I'm waiting for it and ready to greet death. You know.
Zotz out of $12.7 million to buy a casino. What do you rate this episode?
50 cents.
Damn.
Oh wait, no. Oh shit. Is this no, I have to rate this higher.
Episode that's
I
worse
gotta
than Measure of a Man.
Yeah, wait. No. I gotta rate this higher than Measure of a Man.
Jesus Christ. Sicko shit.
3 million. 3 million. 3 million. Yeah, I can't math. 3 million. I'm gonna say that. $3 million.
Okay, you did it. This episode is twice as good as A Measure of a Man to Zotz. Okay. Brian, out of 38 years trapped in a hell not of your own making, what do you rate this episode?
10 years.
That's fair.
Yeah, that like it's. I was like, I should give it like 50% because the writers tried, and I'm like, wait a second, no, they didn't.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Out of 12 as a dice rolls, how do you rate this episode, Eric?
That's a very complicated rating system because you have to factor the odds in. So
yeah.
I'm going to rate this episode a 1, a 2, a 7, 11, and a 12 out of 12.
I'm gonna punch drywall. I'm gonna punch drywall. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I'm sorry for this episode, folks, but hopefully you stayed until then. now it's all worth it.
Apologies, everyone.
I don't think we got any comments, so bye.